So now let us go for the next sutra of Maharishi Patanjali's Yoga Darshan. So we have understood what is abhyas, how a abhyas has to be performed, how long it should be, what should be the method to perform the abhyas. So now after abhyas he talks about the Vairagya. So he says very clearly what is Vairagya in his next sutra, which is given in the 15th sutra. So he says Drishta Anushravik Vishya Vitrushna Vashikar Sangya Vairagyam. So what he says, Drashta means seen, Anushravik means heard through some person or through some other source. So Drishta means Drashta is by seen, Anushravik means by hearing, Vishaya means about the subject, Vitrishnashya is of desireless, Vashikar is the name of the Vairagya. Vashikar is perfection or the mastery, Vashikar. Sangya is the name or designation, Vairagya is non-attachment. So the Vairagya or the non-attachment of one who is disinterested, who is not at all attached, who is disinterested in all the subjects which are seen by him or heard through some other person or through him also directly. That type of non-attachment is a very special non-attachment which is called Vashikar Sangya Vairagyam. So it is called Vashikar Vairagya. So Vairagya is that in which there is a awareness of having got over all the desires. So Vairagya means where there is Vairag. So Rag means attachment and Vai is opposite to that attachment. So Vairag means a person who is not at all attached to anything. That means all his desires are totally, you cannot say it is fulfilled, but he is not attached to any of the desires. Just for example, today we are attached to everything. You are studying, you are listening to me because you are attached to me to get information, you want to learn knowledge about yoga. This is also called a attachment. Then all the subjects which are seen or which are heard of. So what he says, anything, whatever memories we generate, whatever memories we create, it is mainly through our eyes what we have seen and anything which we have heard. So when you meditate, when you sit in meditation for a longer duration, whenever you sit in meditation, you will see you get thoughts related to either what you have seen with your eyes, many things, all the incidents from the childhood till whatever is your age, whatever you see, you just try to, everything starts coming out because they have become a sanskar. They are stored in your karmashe. You have committed those things, now they are coming out. Or things which you have either told to somebody or you have heard about somebody or something. So those things also, in a form of small subtler thoughts, they will come and they will just disturb you. So Vairagya is total non-attachment towards anything which is seen maybe in the past or which is heard maybe in the past. So whenever it comes today, when you are sitting and meditating, whenever it comes today, you are not at all disturbed, you are not at all attached, you are not at all worried about, or it is not disturbing you. So Vairagya is, and that also Vashikar Vairagya is a special Vairagya, which is basically totally mastery over all the desires, you can say. So renunciation is the practice of detachment from the desires. So abhyas you have done without any difficulty, you are practicing. But if you are attached to your people, if you are attached to your place, if you are attached to your childhood, your friends, your everybody around you, then that will become a biggest obstacle in the path of yoga. This attachment will give you lot of dvesh afterwards because it is Vairagya. So this rag will create lot of dvesh, because if you are attached to anything or anyone, any person, if that person says no to you for anything, whatever you say, you will develop dvesh for that person. So it is very important that you disintegrate this all different types of desires and attachments from your life, because without uh, detaching yourself from the desires, you can never ever in your life practice yoga. If according to you yoga is just few asanas, jumping, gymnastics, then it is okay. Live in your own dreams. But it is not like that. Yoga is something more than that. When non-attachment and detachment are learned, there is no craving for objects seen, unseen, words heard or unheard. When non-attachment or the detachment or the renunciation is learned or practiced regularly, you will not feel cravings for the things which you have seen in the previous periods or previous times. You will not feel craving for seeing the same person, seeing the same movie, seeing the same object, seeing the same things around you. You will not have cravings to listen to the same things what you have already completed. So renunciation is a very important part, because without this you cannot progress in the field of sadhana. And remember one more thing, without this you cannot live a stress-free life also. Today, everybody, we all suffer from stress because we lack abhyas and we lack vairagya. We don't practice yoga and we don't have non-attachment with the things. We practice attachment with the things which are not needed for us. So if you want to be a healthy life, abhyas and vairagya is the only thing. Even though yoga says it is very important for your chitta vritti nirodha, but it is very important for your normal life also. If your abhyas is uninterrupted, without any break, with lot of satkar and firmly groundedness, you will not fail in anything. But it is not like that. That's the reason you fail today. And because you are attached to everything whatever is around you, your energies are not activated and you are not able to perform properly. Because lot of rag automatically gives rise to the dvesh. Automatically it goes. So then the seer remains unmoved by the temptations. When you are perfectly firmly grounded in the vairagya or renunciation, then whatever temptations are there around you, you don't get attached to that, you don't get attracted to that, you are totally unmoved by anything whatever is happening. Just for example, without non-attachment, without any attachment, if you perform your duties, the way you perform your duties becomes better. The results are far better than your expectations. At the same time, there is no stress while doing that duty and afterwards also. But if you have lot of attachment with the actions what you do, just for example today, if you have to study and perform well in the exams, so lot of attachment with the exams and the course will create lot of confusions, lot of stress, lot of rag and lot of desh because of ignorance. So what will happen? Your energies will be distributed, and then you will not be able to perform also. But if your energies are highly focused on the sadhana, automatically you will know that this is your duty and you are performing this as your duty. So without any attachment, you will study better. Without any attachment, you will not have any stress because you don't have the performance pressure. So in that condition, even in a very pressure or a very problematic and situation also, in a very pressure situation also, you will be performing better because that pressure is not affecting you, and then you can reach your goal in a much faster way. Non-attachment and detachment must be learned through willpower, and to understand this non-attachment or detachment, your willpower has to be very, very strong. Because without willpower, you will not be able to completely win over these situations. Now, non-attachment, when we talk about non-attachment, this non-attachment is to be followed for everything. Now, some people say Swarg and Nark. So, don't perform the duties because you want Swarg, and don't perform bad things in the life because you will get some Nark. You have to perform the duties which are not going to harm to anybody or to your own self. You should not be attached to the rag and dvesh part of the duties. You don't perform anything expecting that tomorrow you will get swarg, or tomorrow you will get some great things in the heaven, and if you do something bad will happen. Instead of going in that way, because if you don't get it, ultimately nobody has come from anywhere and told that this is the thing which you are going to get, but because in order to get those things, you will be in a lot of stress and you will be performing every duty in a lot of pressure. So instead of expecting too much from Swarg and Nark, instead of that, follow the path of non-attachment. Don't get attracted to anything, and just follow the path of Karma Yoga, where you don't get attached to anything, mainly the fruit of the karmas what you do. So here Patanjali describes as the absence of cravings for the sense objects or Vishya. So whatever Vishyas are there, whatever subjects are there around you, there shouldn't be any cravings for that. So best thing, when you say you have mastered the yogic practices and you are totally in a state of Vairagya and non-attached, you are non-attached. So do one thing, take one lemon in front of you or take one pickle in front of you and just see it. If you get your mouth watery because of that, that means you need a practice, because that also is creating some water inside. So it has to be totally non-attached. You shouldn't be disturbed because of that. So there are two types of Vishyas, two types of objects or subjects we see. And first thing is seen and second thing is unseen. So seen, which you are directly seeing from the eyes, and unseen is which you have seen earlier. Now you are only having the information about it, or maybe some other person may tell it. So seen are the Vishyas which we have seen in the sloka, like Roop, Ras, Gandh, Sparsh, Roop, Ras, Gandh. Dhan is there, Aishwarya is there, Ann is there, food is there, sensual objects are there, power, energy, all these different types of seen things are there, which we see around us and we are involved in that, and they become a very important source for our avidya, and they take you away from the actual path of yoga. Now, observed or unseen Vishyas are Vishyas which are heard in Vedas and Shastras, Devlok, Swarga, Videsh, Anand, along with Divyagandha or Ashtagandha, Ras and Siddhis, which are explained in the third chapter. Now, what is important? Whatever things we have seen around us and whatever things are explained to us, that this is like this, we should not be attached to anything. Because if you are attached to that, automatically you will not be able to perform your duties. So, this ek rasta or focused or ekagra chitta is called Vashikar Vairagya or Apar Vairagya. So, one should develop a non-attachment for all the worldly things which are around that person or which he can experience, and all the things which he has not seen, which he has heard of, which is explained in the Vedas, which are explained in the Shastras in the form of heaven and hell, anything, whatever. So it has to be totally a balanced state of life, because Maharishi Vyas very clearly says that inclination towards the sensory cravings and disinterest over the rejecting the objects cannot be termed as renunciation. So he says inclination towards the sensory cravings and disinterest or overly rejecting the objects cannot be termed as renunciation, as the samskaras are always present in the latent form, and when the strong sensual signals comes person may forget his true nature and get attached again. So just because I am telling or somebody else is telling you to get non-attached, that is not the process. Because if you do that, what will happen? The deep latent sanskaras will be with you, and when strong signals come in front of you, automatically you will forget what you are and you will be towards that attachment side. So Maharishi Vedavyas very clearly says that you should be non-attached totally without any storage. So therefore Raja Bhoj says that one must have control over the Vishyas. So Raja Bhoj, we know who is Raja Bhoj, great king of Ujjain. So he says very clearly to the Vishyas, I am not in their control. I am not in the control of the Vishyas. Vishyas are under my control. So he says very clearly, Vishyas are under my control. I am not under the control of any Vishyas. So I am totally free from all the desires of the life. Chitta is taught to be unmoved by the thoughts of desire and passion. Chitta, by the regular practice, abhyas and vairagya, regular practice and meditation, by the practice of chakras, by the practice of Srividya sadhana, Chitta is taught to be unmoved by the thoughts of desire and passion and to remain in a state of pure consciousness. So what is pure consciousness? So in Mahavidya sadhanas, we listen about 20 Mahavidyas, we listen about 18 Mahavidyas, we listen about 10 Mahavidyas. But whenever we talk about Srividya, she is considered as the purest consciousness. So Chitta is taught to be unmoved by the thoughts and desires and to remain in the state of pure consciousness, devoid of all the objects and free from qualities of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So when you reach to that purest consciousness, the supreme energy, you are free from all the trigunas. Vairagya therefore means the absence of any attraction towards the objects which gives pleasure. So what is Vairagya? It is non-attachment towards any object which can give you pleasure, because whenever you are behind the pleasure, there is always a chance of pain also. So the word Vairagya is derived from the word Rag, which has to be understood, and I have told you also, क्योंकि राग के बिना वैराग नहीं समझ में आएगा. When you have understood Rag means attachment, Vairag means non-attachment. तो non-attachment towards anything which can give you pleasure. आपके अंदर वैराग उत्पन्न किसके प्रति होगा, किसके प्रति होना चाहिए? जहाँ से आपको थोड़ा सा भी सुख मिल सके. तो जो भी चीज़ आपको सुख दे रहा है वो आपको दुख जरूर देगा, क्योंकि वो अनुभूति जो भी सुख का करा रहा है आपको, सुख के अंदर ही दुख छुपा होता है. सो ऑलवेज रिमेंबर दैट नेवर रन बिहाइंड द सुख, because Sukh and Dukh are always complementary to each other. So this is about the Vashikar Vairagya.